All right, let's dive into a story today. It's a pretty simple one, but it's got this massive lesson about how we chase our goals, and it might just flip everything you think you know about hard work completely upside down.
I mean, that sounds completely backward, doesn't it? We're all taught that if you put in more hours, if you work harder, you'll get there faster. Simple. But what if that's just not true all the time? What if pushing harder actually slows you down? That's the paradox we're going to unpack.
So our story begins, like so many great ones do, with a young, ambitious person on a serious quest for knowledge.
Our story kicks off with this kid. You know the type, right? Super smart, super ambitious, just bursting with this energy to learn, well, everything. So when he hears whispers of this incredibly wise sage who lives up on a hill, he's like, that's it. That's who I need to see. He sets off, absolutely convinced this sage has all the answers he's looking for.
So he finally gets there, just full of passion and ready to go. And what happens next is this very strange conversation that basically turns his whole idea of effort and time on its head.
The boy, practically bouncing with enthusiasm, just gets right to it. He asks the sage, "Master, I want to know everything you know. Just tell me, how long is it going to take?" The sage takes a good look at this eager young boy, sees that fire in his eyes, and just calmly replies, 10 years. 10 years. For a kid this ambitious, that might as well be an eternity. He's in a hurry. 10 years? No way, he's thinking. So he tries to negotiate with him, thinking he can speed things up. He asks, but what if I work way harder? What if I study day and night? Then how long will it take?
And the sage, he just pauses for a moment. He looks at the boy, really takes in all that ambition, and then he drops the bomb. "Ah," he says, "in that case, it will take you 20 years.
Now the boy is just completely lost. He must be thinking, did this old man misunderstand me? He gives it one last, desperate shot. Okay, but what if I give my entire life to this? No sleep, no rest, every single waking moment will be about learning. Then how long?
The sage looks back at him with this kind of gentle seriousness and delivers the final, totally confusing blow. Then, he says quietly, it will take you 30 years.
At this point, the boy's mind is just blown. His whole life, he's believed that hard work is the shortcut. And now, this? It makes no sense. So he asks the question that, let's be honest, we're all thinking right now. I don't get it. Why does trying harder mean it takes longer?
And right here is where the sage shares the real gem, the core of his wisdom. It's a simple but incredibly powerful truth about why being in too much of a hurry is so dangerous. The sage just smiles and explains. He says, because when you fix one eye upon your destination, you have only one eye left for the path. And this, right here, is the heart of it all. Think about it. When you're constantly looking ahead, just staring at that end goal, you're not really paying attention to what's right in front of you. You're not fully present. So you rush, you miss the important little details, and you're way more likely to mess up. But if both of your eyes are on the path, you're totally absorbed in the process. Every step matters. You learn as you go. And the funny thing is, that's what actually gets you there faster and in one piece.
To really drive the point home, the sage uses this simple, just brilliant analogy that made it all click for the boy, and for us too.
He says, picture this. You're climbing a really tall tree, and way up at the top is the most delicious, sweet fruit you can possibly imagine. That fruit, that's your goal. The sage continues, look, if you're just staring up at that fruit, dreaming about how good it's going to taste, you're going to hurry. You won't check if that next branch is sturdy. You'll probably slip and fall right back to the bottom. But what if you focus on the climb itself? What if you feel the bark under your fingers, you notice where you're putting your feet, you take a deep breath of that fresh air, maybe you even hear the birds chirping around you, you actually enjoy the climb. Well, then you move up steadily, safely, and before you even realize it, you'll be at the top, and that fruit will be right there for the taking. And that little story perfectly sums up the final and maybe most important lesson here. True success isn't just about crossing the finish line. The sage basically reveals that it was never really about the fruit. It was about who the boy would become while he was climbing. Sometimes, he says, the real reward is hidden in the effort itself.
And really, that's the big takeaway. Life is a journey, not a race. When we rush through it, we miss the point entirely. All the real growth, the real joy,
It's not waiting for us at the end. It's found right here in the process of becoming.
So that kind of leaves us with a big question, doesn't it? In our own lives, whatever our personal climb is, are we so obsessed with that prize at the top that we're completely forgetting to enjoy the view on the way up? It's definitely something to think about. Thanks for joining me for this one.